before I start, because I know I'm going to ramble, thanks to Frame by Frame, he sent in the paid request for this. If anyone wants to request any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, tier list, ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it. PayPal is the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. Maiden 2.0 was so fucking boring and stupid, but boring as hell. This movie's almost 2 hours long. All it does is badly rip off Terminator 2. The robot villain becomes a robot ally and then gets the rule of don't kill anyone. So while Arnold shot kneecaps, she tries to fight like she's Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow. It's funny, some of the stuff in the trailer's not in the movie. If you remember the trailer, the guy that's dressed up as a girl is like, yeah, she's such a bitch. He's not in it. So I guess even the people who made the film said, nah, don't have that guy in it. So there's a few stuff in the trailer. I wish the entire movie was cut out and didn't exist, but sadly that's not the case. Just a lot of people like the first Maiden. Teach their own. I thought the film sucked. I know there's people like the film. My buddies at Dead Pit, they like the film. I don't. I think Maiden was a shitty movie that was PG-13, had lousy, lame, awful kills. The unrated cut didn't do anything to fix that. And it got famous because the TikTok doing the dance stupid shit. Megan did this stupid dance. And then the movie was just a bad remake of the Child's Play remake. A doll with artificial intelligence that wants to protect a kid, but by protecting the kid, it's hurting and killing others, and ready to hurt and kill the kid, and even in the middle kills a fucking animal. In that movie it was a cat, in this movie, Maiden one, it was a dog. It was almost the same fucking movie as the Child's Play remake. I think the Child's Play remake was better, because I thought that at least it was R-rated. I think the acting of the kid was better. And it had more interesting ideas, like controlling the whole toy store, which I think that could have been longer. And Maiden was just a lame, dull piece of shit. And this is more dull piece of shit. It flopped. This is my I'm in shock face. You mean Maiden 2.0 flopped? And then Jason whatever the fuck his name. Well, we thought we could do any other genre with Maiden. I didn't want the first Maiden. And instead you want to turn to a superhero comic book movie. This is, like I said, this is almost a 2-hour movie, and I'm just going to state what happens in the first hour. This is how exciting this film is. You have this government agency, they're doing a test. You find out it's a test. Because some people are asking, what are you doing? And we're testing out a prototype, a weapon. There's a hostage, and there's this tourist caught by the bad guys. You find out the tourist is this AI machine named Amelia. She gets into a PG-13 John Wick, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow type of fight scene that has no intensity, no violence, nothing to it, because again it's PG-13. She crawls on the wall at one point like The Exorcist. And she succeeds in the mission, but then she goes one step further and kills the hostage. And then she says, I'm on my own. Pretty much, she's out. She's out there, and the weapon's out, and they don't have control. So now they have to figure out what to do next. You know what this also reminds me of? You ever seen that film Eve of Destruction with Gregory Hines? Guess you didn't work a fucking off switch. I'm not a fan of that movie, but that's way better than this movie. At least I had Gregory Hines. That's what this is like. When you're a shitty version of Eve of Destruction, that's saying a lot. Eve of Destruction is not the most horrible movie. Just, I wish I had more action and more stuff going on, but that's way better than this. Cut to the characters from the previous film, Gemma and her niece Katie. After the events of the first film, Gemma is now kind of more anti-technology, where she'll give seminars and she'll say, you wouldn't give your kid cocaine, so why give her a smartphone? Let me say this. If you say that out loud, people would trash the fuck out of you. They would trash you, they would give you a middle finger, they would tell you to piss up a rope, and they're going to use their phone, their smartphone, and they're like, lady, you have no room to talk, you're part of this AI thing, you're the problem, not me, you have no reason to lecture. Nobody would be listening to her. Except for a select few. But whatever. Also, I don't buy that this little girl, Katie, she has a poster of Above the Law with Steven Seagal in her locker. Because apparently she studied Aikido. And then she defends herself, and Gemma goes, we talked about the merits of using Steven Seagal as a role model. You mean Katie's not going to, beat up stunt people and assault some bitches? Maybe in a weird way it fits Steven Seagal in this, because he's been a fat ass shitter for the past decade, and this movie is an example of the shit that's come out in the past decade of movies. Lame ass superhero horseshit. I mean, they talk about good Steven Seagal films. Just much later, the girl is got a gun on her, and Gemma keeps saying lines from Steven Seagal like movie titles. And right now, I already forget what the hell those movie titles were. She didn't say Out for Justice, the best, to be the best Steven Seagal film. But, hey, at least you didn't, good, reference Steven Seagal. At least you didn't reference Van Damme or Stallone, which I like more. And I love early Steven Seagal films, but I'd rather talk about that than this. I love Above the Law. I love Out for Justice. I like Hard to Kill, Marked for Death. I even like The Glimmer Man. Anyway, going off topic. But I don't buy some little girl knowing who the fuck Steven Seagal even is. I'm supposed to buy this girl knows who the fuck Steven Seagal is? I don't buy it. What little girls know who the fuck Steven Seagal is? And no little girl, even if you do, they're not going to have an Above the Law poster in the fucking locker. Maybe if this was 1992, I would buy it. Or 1995. But 2025? No kids, well, I guess the cool kids, but no kids are going to have Above the Law poster in their fucking locker. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Anyway. Around this time, this AI regulation bill is going around. And so one night, Gemma and her niece are at home, and these people sneak in and try to forcefully kidnap them, drug them. And then Gemma realizes that her house is kind of like a smart house and starts doing things on its own to fight these intruders. That looks like it kills some of them, but it just doesn't, just hurts them. And there's like slapstick, like a guy slips on ice tubes as if it's Home Alone or Three Ninjas. which are better than this. And then you find out that Madian made a backup of herself and she's in the house and she's not evil anymore. And that the intruders who like are trying to forcefully grab, like put chloroform or a shot in their neck, they're the FBI. And I'm like, why? If you the goal is you want to talk to this lady and tell her, hey, there's this thing is gone amok. It was based on your designs. So we're going to forcefully, like, kidnap you and knock you the fuck. That's so stupid. Especially when she has gone out to say how she's anti-technology. Like, it was such a stupid, like, it didn't make any fucking sense that the FBI would do it that way. So eventually, things settle down. The FBI explain what's going on. Gemma says, I want nothing to do with this. This is your problem. She realizes that Madian is here. Talks with a friend of hers. Madian says, listen, this is what's going on. And it looks like this thing is all involved in the creation of it will die. That means if maybe sooner or later we'll try to come for you. I'll help you out, but I want a new body. So that's where they gave her that Teletubby-looking body in the trailer. They go to this party, Gemma and I think the co-worker Kale or Cole. What the fuck his name was. He was a nothing character. Most of these characters suck. They sucked in the first Madian. They weren't interesting. Gemma is just yabba yabba jabber. You'll point her finger when the only one she should point is in her own self, in her fucking eyeball, or down her throat to puke in a fucking toilet like she belongs. Oh, and the lady who plays Gemma, she's a producer here as well, so she's even more part of the problem. They go to a party. A guy gets killed. This millionaire guy gets out. They chase after it. That's when Madian is... her voice is in the car because they carry some equipment with them. And that's where you hear Hold On to Your Vaginas. And then the Knight Rider theme starts playing. Just because we're getting ready to do it. I wouldn't even call it much of a car chase. I would call it more of a car ride. But yeah, the Knight Rider theme plays for a bit. They get back home. There was the millionaire guy saw Gemma earlier, and he had this. There was this thing where it was. Well, actually, no. He saw him earlier. He's the guy that died. Got killed at the party. Gemma and her cohorts were trying to make this suit that you put on that could help like lift stuff and do stuff. But it's imagine like steel rods kind of put together kind of from shoulder to shoulder and the spine. It comes alive in CGI style and attached to the girl. And one of them throws something at it, and it gets electrocuted. Look goofy, look stupid, bad CGI. And that's around the time where Katie realizes that Madian is back. And instead of being freaked out and scared and PTSD, she more than should have quickly kind of... Oh, wow, Madian's back. How come you didn't tell me, Gemma? And I'm like, did this girl forget that Madian murdered other people? Was a part of a program. She still murdered some people, you know? Like, did you forget that? This wasn't like something that happened before you were born, like John Connor in Terminator 2. Like, it's the same. It's Madian, but. And that's the first hour. And that's when they build the body for Madian. And the plot is that there's this place where there's this motherboard, where there's an AI intelligence, and the Amelia wants to go over there and get the power of the motherboard, and then that'll be used to take over the world or something. They think the next victim is someone who was Gemma's boyfriend at one point, who used to do cybersecurity, but he's at another line of work, and they have to go to this AI convention. Now, this is also where you start looking at this boyfriend character. You know something's up with the guy, with the way he acts, the way he's introduced into the story, like the way he's trying to act like too nice. Like, you know something's up, and then lo and behold, later on you find out he's the main bad guy. Big surprise. So at this AI convention, Madian goes in her body, knocks someone out, puts on their gear. That's the deer that looks like she's ready to play fucking laser tag. And then it's supposed to be like one of these showroom robots. And then people start looking at her as they're doing their demonstration for excitement and to get people into the whatever presentation is going to happen at this convention. And Megan freezes and then starts dancing like the robot. You know. So you want to see Megan dance? You get more fucking dancing. Why does everyone need to fucking dance? Sinners, fucking dancing. Final Destination Bloodlines, fucking dancing. This fucking dancing. The first Maiden dancing. Stop fucking dancing. Unless you dance yourself off the fucking cliff and I never see you again. I'm tired of everybody dancing. This ain't Dance Dance Revolution. For fuck's sake. Everyone's fucking dancing except me. Things go awry. Part of her programming now is she can't kill anyone. So this is where she fights a couple guards. I didn't like she's Black Widow. I keep using that reference. There's other movies I could reference, but it's the one I just keep popping in my head. Ever since like Scarlett Johansson fought in Iron Man 2. Amelia, the evil one, is there, stabs the FBI. Somehow he's still alive, even though he's got a fucking spear in his fucking chest. He's alive enough to give them this information, because this is around the time when, while Madian's fights a couple guards, which isn't much in his PG-13 style, Amelia takes the girl Katie. She's been kidnapped. A lot of talking, a lot of talking, a lot of talking. That's where you get this scene when she grabs the FBI guy's gun, the Madian, and that's what you see in the trailer. Again, it looks like she's in the middle of laser tag. And her and Amelia just talk. Why you need to be their puppet. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. Then Madian and Gemma talk, and Madian goes, what is it that makes you resent me so much? Maybe because you're a fucking murderer that killed a bunch of fucking people in the first fucking movie, that's why. I don't know how you don't get that with the AI. Well, my programming. Well, you fucked up too. You can't blame someone being leery on when you murdered. And then to calm Gemma, she sings a Kate Bush song that goes on for like a minute. And it's meant to be funny, because Gemma starts looking like this. After like a minute of this song tirade, Gemma puts her hand on the doll's mouth and says, I need the killer, I don't need this. I'm like, I don't need the entire this called a movie. And I don't remember what the hell the Kate Bush song was called. I don't care. That's when they find where Katie's been taken. the scene in the trailer where she flies and dives in, where she dives right through the floor. And the boyfriend was behind it all the time, big surprise, and he was controlling Amelia, and the reason he's doing this is to tell the world how bad AI is. And I'm sitting there going, dude, if you really wanted to do this to show how bad AI is, and you're fine with killing innocent people, go to a place where everybody could see it. Have her kill 2, 3, 4, 5 people. People go in, shoot, kill, destroy. Then you say how it's an AI, and then that would get your message across right there, lickety split. So I don't know all these other song and dance games you play in. By that point, Gemma has been taken as well. Trying to think. And Megan has been zapped by like the EMP type of thing. Her body's been fucked up. After more talking, the boyfriend gives Gemma the gun. Go finish off Megan. She doesn't. Megan attacks Gemma, then gets screwed up. You find out Megan put a backup in this implant where they're going to try to screw up Gemma, but instead Megan is taking over, and it becomes like that movie Upgrade for a bit, where it starts controlling Gemma, and then she becomes like a fighter, and there's a point where she gets knocked out, but Megan lifts her body and does the fighting again, even while Gemma's unconscious. So it's Terminator 2. So we went from a movie that ripped off Child's Play remake. Then we have a movie that wants to be Terminator 2 and Black Widow and a superhero movie. Now it wants to be Upgrade for a bit, which I wasn't even a fan of Upgrade. Mainly because I thought the ending sucked. Do I think that movie's better than this? Yes. But I don't like the ending to Upgrade. I think it ruins the movie, for me. Megan and Amelia get into a little fight, which, most of it you saw in the trailer. The boyfriend character has Katie. That's where Gemma keeps saying these Steven Seagal titles until Katie finally gets it and breaks the guy's arm. The guy tries to run, locks the door, but Amelia is there and kills him. You don't see anything because, again, this is PG-13. One thing leads to another. Amelia merges with the motherboard, has all this power. Megan, while busted up, there's this failsafe Gemma had about an EMP. She goes off, touches, hits the EMP. They're both destroyed. Cut to some new stuff going on. Gemma is on the computer and sees something, and Megan made another backup, saying, "You don't think I'd go through all this without having another backup, would you?" And then the movie's over. The movie itself, the reason I went through the plot in some of these movies that I do that is to show step by step how uneventful some of these movies are. Especially if you're someone that does, if you're someone that only watches 5 movies a year, maybe you'd be surprised by stuff. But if you're a person who watches a movie a week, and you have for, the past 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, you've seen a lot of stuff. This, it reminds you of better films. The comedy is cringe and unfunny. The pacing, it does not need to be 2 fucking hours long. The action is minimal. Like, the trailer made it seem as if it was a zonked out, bonkers, off the wall comedy. Like, there's action everywhere. That's not even the case. I said the first hour was Amelia killing 4 or 5 people. Like, again, she's PG-13, Black Widow. Then Amelia murdering someone. FBI guys trying to get these two, Gemma and the knees, which I'm like, this is unneeded. Hey, FBI, you don't need to be doing this. And like, how did you? And these are the good guys trying to kidnap a kid by forcing something in their neck, and these are the good guys? Are you serious? How? And people slipping on ice cubes, a non-exciting car chase, and then the CGI threadbare suit trying to attack a girl in bad CGI and gets fried. There's your action the first hour. And then the second half is, again, the little bit, the flying she does, what you see in the trailer is what you get. There's nothing else to it. She fought a couple guys at that convention. Yeah, like 4 or 5 guys, like lame ass Black Widow. Like I said, this is stuff that you've seen done better in so much stuff. And okay, for an action comedy, the action is barely there. When it's there, it's nothing that remarkable, interesting, or fun, and the comedy isn't funny. Gemma is a very unlikable character. She's always lecturing people when she's the one who needs to shut the fuck up. Madian and her jokes I never thought were funny. Didn't think they were funny in the first one. Didn't think they were funny here. The jokes of she has to dance, so she's dancing like a robot, or the dialogue, or hold on to your vaginas, and the Knight Rider music starts playing. Her singing a fucking song for a full minute, as if it's a fucking Disney movie. Sorry, I just don't see the humor in this. I don't. The twist that you see coming. The boyfriend that seems too good to be true. Well, 'cause he is. The little girl, I thought her performance was very wooden. Hey, I'm Katie. I'm just talking. Sometimes she sounds more fucking robotic than the goddamn doll. The co-workers, Cole, or whatever the fuck his name was, he was really nothing. Trying to be funny and failing. You have the other female co-worker that she helps build the body of Madian. She doesn't really do a whole lot else. The girl played Gemma. I guess, hey, I get to be a producer, and one of my duties is I get to have some fight scenes, because I want to have some fight scenes. Great, you got to have some fight scenes. Where Madians control your body. Congrats. And if you think there's going to be some epic robot... See, that's another thing. The trailer made it seem like the entire movie was going to be this robot versus robot battle. Which is not the case. Madian doesn't get her body until an hour in. And even then, she fights... Like I said, she fights a couple guards. And then she flies in. And then at the very end, she only fights Amelia for like a minute or so. Where they do kind of this, and they do this, and you see Madian doing that fucking move, where she does like... Then Amelia comes back, does this, and Madian flies off through the glass. Like, that's all you did with the robot versus robot battle. Sorry, I swear, the more I talk about this movie, the more I want to fucking drink. Sally is not vodka. I don't drink alcohol, but anyway. But... I mean, I'm sure someone's going to say, man, I thought you'd be even more mad. I am, but at the same time, this is exactly what I expected. As I'm looking over here at my notes, like... Why do you write notes? Because that way I know I'm going to forget shit. Because some of these movies are really forgettable. And there's going to be, oh man, I should have said that. I should have mentioned that. And also give me something to do so I don't fucking fall asleep in some of these movies. And I'm looking at this and knowing, this is just been there, done that, with all those movies I've referenced before, multiple times. How many films about evil AI or weapon evil, gone amok? There's one I didn't mind called The Machine. Well, there's more to it than that. I'm just thinking like AI, and she wasn't really evil. The Machine I actually thought was pretty good. There's Ex Machina. There's all sorts of stuff. So it wants to be Terminator 2. It wants to be Eve of Destruction. It wants to be fucking Upgrade at one point. It wants to be a superhero movie. It wants to be a comic book movie. As if we don't have enough of those fucking movies around. We don't need fucking movies where small, petite girls who weigh 70 pounds and have chicken wings has to fight everybody, kick everybody's ass, and we're supposed to buy it. Only here, at least you just say they're robots, so at least there's a reason. At least there's something to it. But that's the thing, is like petite ladies fighting and kicking everybody's ass, or superheroes, and both I'm just so fucking sick and tired of seeing. You want to give me a lady to kick ass? Give me Demi Moore and G.I. Jane. Give me Jenna Davis and Long Kiss Goodnight. Give me Halle Berry. Any day. The acting, they did Gemma, give a rat's ass about her. Characters I didn't like in the first film. I guess if you liked them from the first film, maybe you feel the same way. But as a guy, I didn't like the first film. This wasn't any better. Megan I don't find to be a funny character. I don't find to be an entertaining character. And the reason it flopped, I mean, if people liked the first film, one of the reasons I'm sure they liked the first film is like they thought they could do a Terminator. The first Terminator was more of a horror film and darker, but then Terminator 2 was, it's still R-rated, but it was a bit lighter compared with the first one. And the bad guy's a good guy, but even that was still more serious than anything in this movie. But in the first Megan had the comedy with the tip-top dance thing and stuff. But what they neglect is that not every movie can change, not every franchise can change its tone in that way and succeed. It's a big risk. And what you did was you pissed off a lot of the fans of the first who are into the horror elements. Now, granted, I don't think there are any, there's horrible elements, but I didn't feel horror elements in Megan, but it was meant to be a horror. It just failed, in my opinion. But anyway, for those who did like Megan, they liked the horror aspect and the slasher aspect, and this didn't have any of that at all. So it doesn't have any of that, and you took away any semblance, the lightest of horror, and then you try to make it more of a comic book movie, and it didn't succeed. It didn't do well. Now, granted, these films don't cost a ton to make, but the fact that Jason Bumpkin, whatever the fuck his name, actually went out and said something, he was definitely got a bug up his ass about it. I was like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Your fucking film sucked. And what was it that I heard? Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. But yeah, it was definitely disappointing, and the studio wanted this to do better than it did. But good, I'm glad it flopped. It deserved a flop. I'm laughing. I'm laughing my ass off that it flopped. Good. Fuck you, movie. And fuck you, Blumhouse. Tie your ass too, you sorry ass. Let me see, like, the list, I want to type in the list of Blumhouse movies. And what the hell have they done lately? List of every Blumhouse film. Megan 2.0. Shit. The Woman in the Yard. Boring shit. Megan. Fuck that movie. I Like the Black Phone. Fantasy Island. Okay, I laugh in your face. Okay, if The Hunt is that, then I don't mind The Hunt. Like Freaky. But Five Nights at Freddy's, Willy's Wonderland I thought was better. Night Swim, Haunted Swimming Pool. Imaginary, didn't see it, didn't give a fuck. The Visit, a kid gets stuffed with a dirty, shitty diaper. That's your highlight. Halloween Ends, that whole trilogy is dog shit. David Gordon Green cannot direct a horror film to save his life. I Like the Invisible Man. The Black Christmas 2019. Holy shit. The Craft Legacy. Holy shit. Truth or Dare. Holy shit. I like Get Out. But yeah, I mean, there's some I like. But then you got The Exorcist Believer. You got The Gallows. Holy shit. The Darkness. At least this is what they're saying for a list. Unless this list got it wrong. But holy shit. Megan 2.0. Yeah, 2 times the suckage. Don't need the O. Unless, oh shit, here we go again. So Megan 2.0. If it was a sex doll, I still wouldn't fuck it. If it was a 30, 40-year-old sex doll looking like a 50-year-old woman, I wouldn't fuck it. Fuck Megan 2.0 though. Glad it bombed. It deserved it. This is a piece of shit. It's boring as hell. But I'm glad it bombed. That way we won't get a Megan 3. What's funny about it is there's a spin-off coming next year. So I wonder now how they think about that spin-off. I forget what the hell it's called. But yeah, there's some spin-off of Megan. I bet they're doing a bit of this. Like, well, I guess this film's gonna bomb too. Like, we can only hope. But yeah, another summer flop. Another flop swept under the ass crack of this summer. Of this year, really. Because this year has sucked for movies. Are there some there I like? Sure. But most of them, this has literally been the worst year of movies in a long time. Minecraft. Lilo and Stitch. Oh. Speak to the Devil. That's going to be the next film I'm talking about. Later.